Hey everybody, it's Greater Good Mining. I'm at Bitcoin 2025 in Las Vegas, and I got in to see JD Vance's keynote speech. It was a pain getting in here. There's really tight security. I couldn't bring a bag with my main camera and all that. So I'm just going live from my cell phone. I'm gonna see if I can find a good spot where I can get the best audio with as good as it gets with the cell phone. I'm gonna be trying to record the whole thing once he comes on the stage. It's scheduled for 9. It's 9 right now. I literally just walked in. It's packed. Everybody's really excited. So I guess we'll see when he comes out. I mean, these things tend to run late because there's such tight security, but I'm excited to be here. I'm excited that I got in. I'm just gonna hunt around for a spot to like camp out and just see if I can find a good spot where I can actually see the stage without cameras in the way. Hey, 10 minutes to midnight. Thanks, man. Yeah, I wanted to do this. This was one of the big things I wanted to do today. All set. What's up, man? Can you guys hear me? Yeah, all set. It's been pretty cool. It's been wild. Like the mile that I just went through, I didn't realize I could skip half of it because I have a press pass. So I spent like a long time in line before I asked somebody. I should have asked right away, like, hey, can I skip some of this? I have like an industry pass or whatever. Yeah, thanks, you guys. Audio and video is not going to be perfect because it's a cell phone, you know, but at least we can experience it together. Bleach, good. I'm glad you can hear me. I'm holding the cell phone like right up to my face. Yeah, I'm excited about this. So far, it's been pretty cool. Yesterday was like industry day. Not a lot of people were like really allowed in, I don't think. So I snuck into WDMS yesterday. I don't know if you guys saw that. Basically, it wasn't like I could have got an invite if I asked them, but like I was planning on just coming to the Bitcoin conference, but there's a Litecoin conference going on. Luke Wright, I don't know if you guys know him, a Cell Hasher. He's over there setting up at the Litecoin conference. Like I said, literally I just kind of snuck into the WDMS and got some footage of the new S23. I don't know if you guys saw those shorts that I put out yesterday. S23, 318 terahash at 11 joules per terahash for the air-cooled one. And then 580 terahash at 9.5 joules per terahash for the hydro-cooled one. So it's insane, these new Bitcoin miners that are coming out. It's very exciting being here. Lots of cool stuff going on. Yeah, 10 minutes to midnight. Beastly. They are beastly for sure. Then they've got a new ant rack V2. So it looks like they separated the units out so you can put like the air, like the cooler part of it outside, and then you can have the miners inside. They changed it where the heat output is it went from like 50 degrees Celsius more heat. I was talking to Layla Mining, and he was saying that that you could cook eggs with it. They were cooking eggs with it to like do a demonstration, and I was like, I wasn't sure if I really believed it, but like he's usually like a very honest. I thought at first he was joking. He's like, no, they had a bunch of eggs. They were cooking them all, showing us how hot the water can get. So the future is reusing the heat from these Bitcoin miners for a purpose. Like you can heat whole buildings. They've got it figured out, you know. I want to heat my house with it, but I live in Florida, so I don't really need the heat right now. 10 minutes to midnight, there will be signs for sure. I'm going to pick up one of those ant racks one day. I'll heat my pool with it or something. Track, yes, thank you. Smash the like, guys, if you're here. I appreciate you hitting the like button. So, yeah, we're just waiting for JD Vance to come on. I mean, check out the crowd here. Imagine standing behind all these people in line, and there's still a mile-long line that is like 20 people wide, snaking through the entire hotel. Like, I couldn't believe where the line started. I was like, where do I go to get in this line? And I had to walk deep into the hotel, and we were like blocking off escalators and stuff. We were like getting yelled at. I'm like, I don't know. There's no one guiding us. Like, where do we go? Where are we all supposed to go? Leech, you heated your whole house? Did you have like a, do you have like a setup where it goes into your ducts, your heat ducts? Ten minutes to midnight. It was so sloppy, man. I saw a lot of people walking by me while I was standing next to all the other people that had regular passes. And I was like, I was hearing people saying those were the whale pass people. So I kind of ignored it. I was like looking at their wristbands. I didn't see anybody with the same color wristband as me. So I assumed everybody that was blasting past me had the whale passes, which are insanely expensive. So finally I got up towards the end and I saw a lot of people walking by me. I'm like, hey, that's a wristband that matches mine. I asked the guy, I'm like, hey, is this the lane for the press? And he was like, yeah, come through here. I'm like, oh, dude, I just waited for like half an hour for no reason. Bleach, that's cool. Yeah, like if you can heat like your basement, or like I was putting miners throughout the house. My wife is really cool. I don't know if you're watching, honey, but thank you for allowing me to do all this stuff. She let me put my octominer on the kitchen counter. Like we heated our house in the winter because it does get cold in Florida in the winter, especially at night. So she let me put my octominer right on the kitchen counter. So, but she loves the heat. She wants to be warm. See you later, Alltrack. Thanks for stopping in. 10 minutes to midnight. You're right. Best line in Vegas. This was totally worth it. I'm so excited to be able to see JD Vance. Like, I've never seen a president or a vice president in person in my life. I don't know if you saw on X, if anybody was on X at all yesterday, but I met Byron Donalds. I posted a picture of a selfie with Byron Donalds, the congressman from Florida. I saw him walking around. I'm like, dude, I gotta go say hi. Oh, here we go. I might not talk as much when the speech starts, guys, because I want to respect JD Vance if he's speaking. So I might shut up after a minute. Thirty-five thousand people here today. Bulk 35, you're not wrong. We all want some positive news for crypto. You're right about that. All set. You're right about that. Never sell your Bitcoin. Hey, Sadie, sometimes. What's up?
And he promised to make America the Bitcoin superpower of the world.
Can you guys hear the speaker?
In 100 days, promises made, promises kept.
Yep. Promises made, promises kept.
By having the first ever sitting vice president of the United States.
Somewhat. You're right.
Are you ready? With that, join me in welcoming the Vice President of the United States of America, JD Vance. Thank you. First of all, I want to thank, please, thank you guys. Take your seats.
We know.
They really like the President, Vice President of the United States too, so I think we're doing okay.
Yep, 48, 48.
David Bailey, grateful for everything that you've done for the Bitcoin community. Thanks in particular for what you did for me and the President helping us get from the embassy to the White House, because we've done, I think, a lot of good in the past 3 days, and I guess we could have done it without David's support. I want to also thank the Winklevoss brothers, Tyler and Cameron.
No problem, all set. Or no problem. Take you sometimes.
In Silicon Valley, remember, you go back to June, July of last year, it's not even a year ago. For Silicon Valley, people who were private sector support Donald Trump. We talk about the fact that Democrats have gone too crazy. We're going to get Gary Gensler the hell out of there. They weren't quite willing to say. At least not publicly, that they were going to take the big step and support Donald J. Trump and Cameron and Tyler Winklevoss. I think they were some of the first big names in Silicon Valley to take that step, and a whole host of people followed them. Cameron and Tyler, thank you for that. And of course, I want to thank the good people at Coinbase, the organizers of this event, and everybody who made this incredible event possible.
Hey, dumpster fire. Yep, that's JD Vance. Bumper bags, JD Vance.
This is a movement, and I'm proud to stand here.
Yes, yes. It's not just a conference, it's a movement, he said.
At this conference, this movement of people is where the future of cryptocurrency in this great country gets decided. So let's start by making one thing abundantly clear. That future is going to be decided by the people, by you, not by unelected bureaucrats.
Yeah. Yep. Yes, Sadie sometimes. I love it.
As you all probably know, you've got a star-studded lineup here today, including several of my colleagues in the Trump administration. David, Bo Hester, I know you're all out there. It's great to be among so many friends and allies. So, I want to speak for just a few minutes about a few things. I want to talk a little bit about what we've done in the Trump administration. I want to give you a rundown of what this administration is doing on digital assets policy. But I also want to talk about some of the principles that help guide us as we develop this policy. But before that, I want to speak about why I'm personally optimistic about crypto and what it means for the American people. People ask me why I tend to be bullish on the future of innovation in this country. I spent enough time in Silicon Valley to recognize the difference between good technology that boosts our productivity, makes our lives richer, that grounds us in the real world and complements our day-to-day lives. That's the good technology, but there's also some bad technology out there. And when it comes to crypto, I think the last several years have made it clear that we're talking about genuine, ground-up innovation, one that's already improving the well-being of tens of millions of our fellow citizens. I believe it's 50 million Americans own Bitcoin, and I believe that's going to be 100 million before too long. But it's not just about Bitcoin, it's about the value that's been generated, or wealth that's been generated by so many of our fellow citizens. Through decentralized finance, crypto has transformed how Americans transact with one another. It's expanded access to banking for many who may not otherwise have it. Every single day, I feel like I see some groundbreaking new use of blockchain tech, whether it's in supply chain management.
Hey, Neva, do you think stocks are a scam?
Or whether it's in changing how we track and store patients' private health.
Fiat's a scam, my friend.
But for each of these new forward-looking applications, I also feel like there's an incredibly valued conservative element to crypto technology, and that's as a hedge. Crypto is a hedge against bad policymaking from Washington, no matter what party's in control. It's a hedge against skyrocketing inflation, which has eroded the real savings rate of Americans over the last 4 years. And as you all know well, it's a hedge against the private sector that's increasingly willing to discriminate against consumers on the basis of their basic beliefs, including their policy. That includes, of course, debanking users for Second Amendment advocacy or for ties.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're standing, I need you to move to the back or take your seats. Nobody wants to hear me, so let's move. If you're standing in the back, if you have a seat, please go to it. We need to have these all open for safety protocols. Thank you.
In the digital era in both the public and the private sector. And that's from elites who, rather than innovate themselves,
We got yelled at.
to take over and corrupt cutting-edge technologies to assert their control over other people.
No, I'm standing bolt.
I know we believe this in this room. That's not Bitcoin. It'll never be Bitcoin, and you guys are going to make sure that happens. But as you know, there's a new sheriff in town because after 4 years of mistreatment and outright hostility led by Democrat regulators, lawmakers in this country have a choice. Will we lead our nation into a future of financial sovereignty, of innovation, and of prosperity, or will we let unelected bureaucrats and poor competitors write the rules for us? And I'm here today to say loud and clear, with President Trump, crypto finally has a champion and an ally in the White House. In our administration, we understand the full potential of the digital assets industry, not just as an investment, not just as a flash of technology, but as a symbol and driver of personal liberty for all our citizens. And we are dedicated.
I got in at like 8 a.m., Leo.
The way that we see it, the people in this room are the digital pioneers of the American economy. And that's why our administration is doing something a little unusual in Washington. We're listening to all of you as you blaze the trail of innovation. The innovators in this room are making people's lives better. You're pushing boundaries and solving problems, injecting unprecedented transparency into how we do commerce. And the way we see it, you all deserve a similar level of
Hey, Red Panda, what's going on, man?
clarity, and most of all, you deserve respect and support from your government, not bureaucrats trying to tear you down.
Love you, Panda.
Now that means a few substantive concrete steps. Of course, the first and most important of those steps is straightforward.
They'll kick me out if I do that, Panda.
The last administration left us. And since day one, that is exactly what we've been trying to do. Our administration, we prioritize eliminating the rules, the red tape, and the lawfare that we saw aimed at crypto by our predecessors. We're ending the weaponization of federal regulations.
Vegas is awesome so far, RPM.
To put it simply, Operation Choke Point 2.0 is dead and it's not coming back.
Operation Choke Point 2.0 is dead. Oh, nice, Leo. I'll see you today then.
The regulatory power of the government to crush an industry.
I had a press pass, so they let me in faster, Leo.
It's crazy, but let my words today serve as Operation Choke Point. Let let me serve as its obituary. Now this is my vow to every single person here. You will never see this administration trying to handicap your community or diminish the impact it's had on the economy. Instead, we reject the Biden administration's legacy of death by 1,000 enforcement actions. We reject regulators. Maybe the most important thing that we did for this community, we reject regulators and we fired Gary Gensler.
Bye-bye, Gary.
And we know that people like Gary Gensler, the game that they play is that under the pretense of consumer protection, they attacked every single effort to democratize our financial markets, and that is over. America. I grew up in a working class family. I believe that America is a place where anyone should be able to make a fortune, no matter where you grew up, what degree you may or may not have. And in recent years, I'm hard-pressed to think of a better place to do so than right here in the digital assets industry. Now, our second substantive step is we're trying to create a clear, pro-growth legal framework for stablecoins in this country. And I know we've got some solid allies in Congress. Is Cynthia Loomis out there today, or is she already gone? Well, you know, I was supposed to have dinner last night with Cynthia Loomis. We had a little event yesterday, and I looked around and I said, where the hell is Cynthia?
RPM, you don't miss Gary.
Well, she's got a dinner she had to go to. And I said, I'm the vice president. Unless she's having dinner with the president, Cynthia does not have an excuse to skip this event. But we love Cynthia, and I know that she's one of the great advocates for your industry.
Oh, the memes were good. We can still meme about Gary, RPM. Hey, Maui Hearts me.
Now, I know, led by Cynthia and other great legislators, Congress is hard at work getting the Genius Act passed and across the president's desk as quickly as possible. That's an important step. It's with good reason, because regulatory uncertainty in this country has pushed way too much stablecoin activity overseas over the last few years. Somebody said to me yesterday that Bitcoin has done so much over the last few years with so many headwinds. Wouldn't it be nice to have a government that provided some tailwinds to one of the fastest growing industries in our country, and that's the game.
Yes.
And once the Genius Act is enacted, it's poised to vastly expand the use of stable coins as a digital payment system for billions of our fellow Americans. It will also protect coin holders and inject further transparency into the market. And let me be emphatic on one other point. In this administration, we do not think that stablecoins threaten the integrity of the United States dollar. Quite the opposite.
Agreed.
In fact, we view them as a force multiplier of our economic might. Dollar-pegged stablecoins, particularly once Genius is enacted, is only going to help the American economy, and it's only going to help the American dollar. So, again, we're optimistic that the Senate is able to move quickly on passing a clean Genius Act, and for the House to follow up and do the same. And of course, once that happens, our great President Trump will sign it into law the minute it comes across his desk. Now, when that's happened, the administration will then fully shift to our third priority, which is to enact a transparent and tailored regulatory framework for digital assets. One that's pro-innovation and fully incorporates crypto into the mainstream economy. And again, I've talked to so many of you over the last couple of days, and the consistent fear that I hear with all the great things that have happened over the last couple of months, the consistent fear that I hear is that there's still this perception that digital assets are not welcome in the mainstream economy, and let me promise you that our effort to change the policy is purely about changing that. We want our fellow Americans to know that crypto and digital assets, and particularly Bitcoin, are part of the mainstream economy and are here to stay.
welcome you as the 51st state
We need a
RPM.
way to do that legislatively because, again, I hope that our party is in charge for a long time, but nothing is ever guaranteed in politics. So the best way to ensure that crypto is part of the mainstream economy is through a market structure bill that champions and doesn't restrict the extraordinary value that Bitcoin and other digital assets represent. Right now, in this Congress, with this administration, we have a once-in-a-generation opportunity to unleash innovation and use it to improve the lives of countless American citizens. But if we fail to create regulatory clarity now, we risk chasing this $3 trillion industry offshore in search of a friendlier jurisdiction, and President Trump is going to fight to make sure that does not happen. By locking in smart, pro-innovation rules of the road, we can also make sure that Democrats or anybody else never wage another war on the crypto community. Now, I've already hit my time here, but before I head back to Washington, let me offer you just a few bits of advice and a few thoughts on where this industry is going. This is one politician's perspective. So take it for what it's worth. Maybe a little bit less than one Bitcoin maybe. But let me say a few things. First of all, I remember when I ran for student the first time I had ever entered politics back in 2022. And one of the frustrations, honestly, that I had with the crypto community as a person who was one of the only people running for office who actually owned Bitcoin, and I still own a fair amount of Bitcoin today.
I agree, RPM. That'd be awesome.
Is that I recognize what so many advocates of Bitcoin recognize, which is what the Biden administration was doing. What Gary Gensler was doing was a disaster, and yet there didn't seem to be any real organization pushing back against it at the political level. And let me say that part of the reason that I'm standing here, part of the reason that Bernie Moreno defeated Sherrod Brown in the Senate campaign last year is because you guys got organized and got involved in American politics, and I'm grateful to you. But
I agree, RPM. You're an honorary American in my eyes.
Take from that experience, which is that unless you guys get involved in politics, politics is going to ignore this industry. Now, you took a big step in 2024, and I tell you, every victory that we win, it's only a provisional victory. One of my great mentors in Silicon Valley always told me that, Bitcoin, the crypto community was about exit and artificial intelligence was about voice. Well, I know that a lot of people in 2024 in this community chose voice. You chose to speak up and you chose to get involved, and I believe you changed the correct trajectory of our country because of it. But you got to keep on choosing voice. Bitcoin, of course, is people call it digital gold. But while Bitcoin is digital, none of you are. None of us are. What happens in the world of politics, what happens in the world of bureaucracy, it will affect even the most transformational and valuable technologies if we don't make the right decisions. So the first piece of advice, the first thing that I'd ask you is to take the momentum of your political involvement in 2024 and carry it forward. 2026 and beyond. Don't ignore politics because I guarantee you, my friends, politics is not going to ignore this community. Not now and not in the future.
Honorary American RPM. I agree, Maui Hearts Me 2028.
The second thing that I want to toss out there is that we have to start thinking of the long-term strategic implications of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is owned by about 50 million Americans. A lot of Americans have made a lot of money, have created a lot of wealth for themselves, and that's a great thing. But I actually think that where Bitcoin is going is as a strategically important asset for the United States in the next decade. It's one of the reasons why President Trump, with the help of our great AI guy, David Sachs, it's one of the reasons why we started the Bitcoin Reserve. Because we want to start to put in motion the strategic importance of Bitcoin for the United States government. We know that the PRC doesn't like Bitcoin. The People's Republic of China doesn't like Bitcoin. Well, we should be asking ourselves, why is that? Why is our biggest adversary such an opponent of Bitcoin? And if the Communist Republic of China is leaning away from Bitcoin, then maybe the United States ought to be leaning into Bitcoin.
They don't mind selling us their miners, though.
That's not a vice president standing up here and talking at you. The way that Bitcoin is involved in the strategic future of our country, that's got to be a two-way conversation. And so when I talk about getting involved in politics, one of the things that you guys got to do is continue to give us feedback and continue to tell us the ways in which Bitcoin can play a positive role in the strategic future of this country. I know the Bitcoin Policy Institute is working on this very topic now, but all of you have got to be involved in this conversation. Because I don't think any of us want to wake up in a country 10 years from now that is less wealthy and less prosperous because we made bad decisions today. We're going to make it a
RPM. I talked to Hawk yesterday for a while. Yeah.
Being part of the conversation. So be part of that conversation.
He's very busy, though. He's super busy.
And here's the third thought that I want to leave you. You know, one of the ways you hear this stated is that crypto is fundamentally a conservative or right-leaning technology, and artificial intelligence is fundamentally left-leaning or a communist. Now, I think that overstates things a little bit in both directions, but there's a fundamental element of truth to it. Now, I've been involved in the day-to-day operations of a technology company in about 4 years since I entered politics for the very first time. But what I've noticed is that very smart right-wing people in tech tend to be attracted to Bitcoin and crypto, and very smart left-wing people in tech tend to be more attracted to AI. Again, that's a gross generalization, it's an overstatement, but there's an element of truth to it. But what I'd ask you all is to remember that what happens in AI is very much going to affect in good and bad ways what happens to Bitcoin. And of course, what happens to Bitcoin is very much going to affect what happens in AI. So, while this is certainly a Bitcoin conference, and I know we're all proud of what you guys have accomplished over the last 10 years, my final piece of advice is to make sure you're keeping tabs on and staying involved in what's happening with artificial intelligence, because I don't want Bitcoin to be negatively affected by what happens in AI, and most importantly, I don't want America to be negatively affected by what happens in AI. And the best way to ensure that smart people are at the AI conversation is to ensure that Bitcoin is part of the artificial intelligence conversation. Our administration is committed to it. I want you guys
RPM, we went to the Sphere yesterday. Me and Duke of all trades, Luke Wright, Action CEO, your friend Andy, Dabatolo, we all went to the Sphere last night.
The Trump administration, we've accomplished a lot, but we have plans to continue to make big progress for this industry and for the American people who rely on it. The whole of government, we're going to need your help, we're going to need your guidance, we're going to need your encouragement, and at times,
yeah, it was really cool.
Politics, our politicians are going to need your pressure. So, have fun this week, but keep the pressure up, and we'll do great things
Yeah,
together.
I'll say it. I think it was worth it.
Most importantly, for the cause of personal freedom and the United States of America. God bless you guys. Thank you.
USA, USA. RPM, yes, the Luke Wright. He's here. We've been hanging out. USA, USA. Should I try to get the chant going? Maui Hearts Me. I forgot what the movie was called. The Hillbilly Elegy, I think it was called. Wasn't it Hillbilly Elegy? Yeah, he's the man. JD Vance is the man.
But to start, I don't know
Okay, yeah, I'll see you soon, Leo. Come say hi. I'll be wandering around.
Breakfast is here to be the official judge of this, but
RPM, that would be awesome. I wore my Casper shirt yesterday for a while. Thanks, all set. Yeah, it's been fun. Not sure what's going on now.
There's always a danger of being line.
Yeah, Vance 2028 would be amazing. True American, like the RPM said. And very well spoken, very smart. He can react quickly. I'm so glad he is a VP. Everybody's filing out.
Okay, well, so we have two more announcements that we need to make. We have one coming up right now from the special print line by
Not sure what time it is, but I think the venue opens at 10. The conference center is closed until JD Vance leaves, I think. Like, except for this stage, we all got screened. So I'm not sure where everybody's going right now. GameStop. Did you see GameStop bought a bunch of Bitcoin? Like, was it over 4,000 Bitcoin they bought today?
What's up? How are you?
Doing well, man. Enjoying this Bitcoin crisis. How about you?
It's all good.
Well, let's get started.
Lolly Pip. It was like 47 decibels. I was at Canon's booth yesterday. I'm going to interview them today at like 3 or so. But yeah, that Avalon Q is quiet, man. I was standing right next to it. I could feel the heat coming off of it, but I couldn't hear anything coming from it. It's very quiet.
Was under a lot of pressure, moving from physical games to digital downloads.
I think I might file out. Do you guys want me to go live for a little while in the conference? Like maybe I'll shut this stream down in case anybody just wants to watch the speech, and then I'll start up another stream when I get in the conference. You guys want me to do that? 4,700 Bitcoin RPM. That is nuts. Good for them. Lollipip, I'm not sure what you mean by height mode. I'm going to ask them today which modes like take up what power, and like see if I can find out if they know the decibel readings for each mode. But I don't know what mode it was in. Like it had just started up a few minutes before. I was like standing there with them while they were trying to get logged into the Wi-Fi in this conference. The Wi-Fi is terrible here, as it always is, but they were trying to get the machine running while I was standing there, and then they got it running. We waited a little while till it warmed up, and so I'm assuming whatever mode it was in was its default mode. But I was standing right next to it. It was quiet in default mode, so they didn't like change any settings that I saw when I was standing there when they started it up. But I'll find out for sure today. I'll ask more questions today when I interview them.
Good luck to you.
Lollipip, do you mean like light mode? I'm assuming you mean light mode. I'll find out more. I'm going to do a video with them. I'm going to do an interview with them. So that was one of the big questions a lot of people wanted to know. But I will find out. Okay, yeah, RPM. I think you guys, I'm going to end this stream because Beach is over, and anybody that watches it, I'm just going to cut this off in a minute here, so that way it's not like clogged up with a bunch of just me walking out. But I will. I'll get out to the floor. I'll see if I can see if I can get in. I think it opens at 10, and then I'll restart another stream, and I'll just walk around and I'll show you guys everything, and then I'll probably grab something to eat after that. So like give me like a half an hour maybe or so before I start up the other stream, and then I'll walk around and I'll try to catch everything that I can. So thanks for watching, you guys. I appreciate you hitting the like button and talking with me. And yeah, this is exciting. I'm glad I'm able to make it, and I'm glad I got in. Look at all these people, man. I don't even know where to go to get out of here. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you probably about a half an hour or so. A lot of people trying to go to the bathroom. later, guys. Oh yeah, RPM. I saw those pictures of that Tacoma. Put me on in the background while you're grinding the rust off and painting it. 9-inch lift? That's insane, man. 39-inch super swampers. You're gonna be able to run over anything with that. All right, I'll talk to you guys later.